Summer is ramping up, and it's time for the first wild fruit I ever picked. Before I even picked a mushroom, the black-cap raspberry. Such a good fruit. The first jam I ever made, and still one of my favorites. This is possibly the most popular wild berry in North America. Of course, that's from my good friend Sam Thayer's Field Guide to Edible Plants of Eastern North America, which you should own already. Get 2 copies in case you lose one. Here's what we're going to go over. Harvesting, cultivars, SWD, spotted wing Drosophila, general cooking, and some simple maple black-cap preserves, basically the first thing I make that I use in sweet and savory dishes. So first with harvesting and identification, obviously these are like the most basic entry-level foraging wild food. But if you want to look for plants in the off-season, you can see that they always are going to have this kind of bluish-green bloom on the canes. And this patch is okay. It's not quite peaking yet, but there's plenty of berries to pick. So I'm going to make sure to go back in a couple days and keep harvesting. So harvesting and storing, biggest thing to know here, this is a blickey. Well, blickey can be improvised from anything. I'll put a coffee cup in my belt if I don't have one, but this one clips onto your belt. And this is not available on Amazon right now. You can see I bought it at least 2 times, but this is why you want a blickey or just something that frees up your hands. When you harvest with 2 hands instead of 1, you're literally doubling your harvesting speed. You combine that with you bringing a friend or your partner or child laborer out there, meaning your kids, and they have blickeys too, you are going to be amazed at how much fruit that you can get. I got about, over 2 pounds in about an hour with me and a friend. That's awesome. So couple quick tips: bring a cooler, store it in shallow containers, and chill the fruit ASAP. The reason, look at this. I harvested these from my backyard, put them in a bowl, but they were stacked up. They molded overnight inside the fridge. So I used to buy these in large amounts, 20, 30 pounds at a time, and we would always store them in a shallow container and in the fridge as soon as possible. And you want a shallow container so they're not mounded up holding heat. That's going to make them last the longest. Okay, cultivars. Basically, all brambles are not created equal. One of the things people don't like about black caps is that they're really small. They can be absolutely tiny. So another thing to keep in mind here is you're going to have cultivars that are primocane bearing, which is in the fall, and floricane bearing in the summer. That's going to be important when we talk about spotted wing Drosophila here. But just look at the size of these. The ones on the left are from my backyard. I found a plant that made huge berries, and I dug up a single cane. And look at the size of those compared to wild ones. Okay, now the unfortunate part. Why are my raspberries soggy? This is the invasive fruit fly, the jerk, the godforsaken creature, spotted wing Drosophila. So if you see raspberries, blackberries, elderberries, even buckthorn, basically all the raspberry type plants have these. If you see them wilting on the plant, crush one open, and this is what you can never unsee, is the wiggling, writhing fruit fly larvae, and the berries are wilting because the larvae are just going through the drupes and breaking them, and this just sucks. They're in sour cherries, they're in all the wild cherries too, maybe except pin cherries. There's, a super high-res video of one crawling, and you can actually see like the berry material inside the translucent maggot. I just hate them. I loathe them. Hopefully they don't get into the blueberries. So mitigating larvae damage, a couple things you can do. You can plant a primocane shrub that's going to fruit in the fall, and then use them in recipes that are strained, vinegar, liquors, smoothies, etc. Also, they don't like drought years. Preservation, real quick here. Just like most fruit, these freeze like an absolute dream. What you want to do is IQF them so you don't have a big block of fruit. Put them on a parchment-lined sheet tray, freeze them, put them in a hard-sided container in the freezer. They'll last basically forever. Cook with them right out of the freezer. General cooking. This maple black-cap ice cream is freaking fantastic. There's a recipe for that on my website. Also, cassis. It's not technically cassis, but soaking the berries in brandy with maple syrup. Oh my God. It is nectar of the gods, people. Recipe for that on my site. Okay, raspberry vinegar was a total cliche when I was growing up cooking in the late 90s. You can make the most incredible version with black caps, and you can do a double infusion. It's incredible. And I will use that in sauces like with this goose confit from 2014. Wow, that one kind of aged reasonably well. Raspberry leaf tea. This was relatively new for me this year. I've been using my trimmings. So good. And simple preserves. So I'm going to show you how to make these. I start off with a vinegar made from my own fermented blackcap raspberries. I'm going to add only maple syrup. So this is a 100% wild product, kind of the holy grail of wild food. We boil the maple syrup down with the vinegar until the bubbles get huge and it threatens to come up the side of the pan. I'll probably have this video and the recipe up on my website sometime. I don't know. It'll just live here for now. You can follow my mulberry recipe. I'll link that in the video description. And then we're just going to mash the berries up. And they're going to give off a bunch of liquid. And we just cook this down until we can start to barely see the bottom of the pan. And it doesn't have to be super thick. Add a little bit of lemon juice. And then you can water bath can this. It is low sugar. Berries and sugar are so stable. It's so easy to work with. You can water bath can it, put it in the freezer, put it in the fridge. Anything you want to do. There you go. I'll put a bunch of links in the video description, and there's a lot more information in the post on my website. Thanks for watching.